Hey everybody, Michael here with Game Changers. Welcome back for episode 2 of Filthy Friday. We've got another PS4 this time around. The last one was more of a user error than a dust buildup, so I wanted to give you guys a good chance to see what a really filthy PS4 looks like. PS4s are notorious for sounding like jet engines because they build up dust on the inside, they get clogged up, they tell the fan to spin faster to try to compensate for it, then eventually they start to sound like they're going to take off and go flying. We're going to go ahead and crack one open, take a look, get it cleaned up inside. We've never been in this one, so we're going in blind. We're going to go on this adventure together. So, strap yourselves in. Let's get started. We'll start by just cracking her open here. Got the hard drive cover. Some signs of dirt already. Get these back screws out of there. Oh, it looks like we were missing one here. So that one is already missing in action. So there's definitely some buildup up around the front panel here. And I'm going to need some gloves. Much better. Go ahead and pull the hard drive out. Set that aside. So already got a lot of little dust bunnies all over the place. This one's gonna be filthy, I can tell. We'll hit that with the air compressor. Oh yeah, much better. Gonna be a lot easier to work on without all the dust flying all over the workplace. We'll flip it over, try the other side here. See how we're looking. Oh yeah, just as bad, if not worse. Got a lot of buildup in there. And the fan, oh, yep, that's crunchy. I'll be surprised if that spins, but we'll hit it with the air compressor and try again. All right, we're looking a lot better here, a lot less buildup, but yeah, that fan is still stuck. It is stiff and it's not going anywhere. We'll plug it in just to make sure that I'm not missing anything with that, but most likely that fan is not going to go. Oh, we got a little wiggle out of it. Let's see if I can manually get it to start spinning up. Yeah, it's just jiggly. Every now and then we get a little kick out of it, but it's not spinning. So we're going to have to replace the fan on this one. Going to have to put a whole new one in there. Let's go ahead and start pulling this thing apart. All right, moment of truth. Seen better days, I'd say, but let's take a look at the board itself. Oh, yeah. Yep, there's a good amount of dust built up in there and on the board. Let's take a closer look here. You can see up here near the front, by the front USBs, there's a lot of dust built up there, all around the RAM chips. That's where it got hit the hardest. No worries, we'll clean it up. Take a close look here. Yeah, we've got to get this thermal compound off of there. It is hard and grody. So we got these wooden Q-tips. Thinking, well, Q-tips are Q-tips. We'll save a little bit of money, right? No, don't do it. These are garbage. They snap in half. But the worst part is that the actual cotton tip of it is non-absorbent and just different. I think there's less cotton packed tighter on there. So either way, they got a few of them mixed in with the rest of our Q-tips. We're trying to get through them. We're not ordering those again. In the meantime, you know, we'll use them as we come across them. We're getting all of this off of the processor. Now keep in mind, we're not prepping it for thermal compound quite yet. When we get to that point, we'll use rubbing alcohol, but right now we're just rubbing it with a dry Q-tip to get it out of the way so that it doesn't make more messes as we go. All right, let's hit that with the air compressor. Made a little difference, but we're gonna have to really go at it later here. We'll pull that off. Oh, the money shot. Look at that. Wow. That is gross. We got a full blanket of dust built up in there. Ugh. Definitely gross. I'm going to let you guys just enjoy this. It makes like a little, it compacts into almost like a little rag of nastiness. So this is the #1 spot on PS4s that gets filthy. That's why I'm glad we're doing another PS4 for you guys for episode 2, because you didn't get to see this last time. This happens all the time on our deep cleans here. They get just completely clogged up right here. And then that jet engine sound you normally hear from the fan, that's it blowing harder and harder to try to compensate for all of this nastiness that's blocking the airflow. If the air's not flowing through, it's not taking the heat with it. Look, oh God. Just the grossest. So yeah, if the air's not flowing through there, it's not taking heat with it, and it has to try to overcompensate. Let's go ahead and pull out the fan. We're gonna have to replace it, but the good news is we don't have to spend any time cleaning it because it's dead. We're just gonna go ahead and chuck it in the recycling. Yep, stiff as a board. Not supposed to spin freely there. All right, so we got the mid frame here. We're gonna give that a good clean. We're gonna hit everything with the compressed air and a toothbrush and see what we can get. All in all, definitely a gross. Definitely looking gross. All right, hit that with the compressed air. Now it's toothbrush and rag time. Remember here that we only use Windex on the plastic parts that are not in contact with the electronics. If you use Windex anywhere near the electronics, you will ruin your PS4. All right, that's looking a little better. Let's get this fan in there. Now, there are two types of fan connectors for the first gen and second gen PS4. There's this push-on connector and then this push-in connector. Make sure you order the right one. Take a look at how it connects to your main board before you order your part if you ever need to replace your fan. All right, so we got that in there. Now let's scrub this up, get it nice and clean. See through there, it's nice and clear all the way through. That's what we want. Yeah, got it looking a lot better. I think we're ready to go on this. I can get you a good angle. There we go. It's eaten all the way through, no obstructions. That's going to be a happy PS4. We'll just go ahead and put that back in place and start screwing things together. Now remember, no Windex here. Dry brush, rubbing alcohol, and let's go ahead and clean up the actual processor die. We got some rubbing alcohol is the only liquid we use here. We use it on both sides. Get it nice and clean so that the new thermal compound will make a good connection. Just a little dab will do ya. We're gonna go ahead and put the little thermal pads in place, and one and done. You don't want to put it on, lift it off and put it back on. Make sure you get it one good run, and then make sure we get the fan connector out of the way so that it's not squishing that. Put the thermal pads back down. We're missing one, so we just put in a spare. Go ahead and connect the fan. Now with this type of connector, the push-in one is straightforward and easy, but with this one you got to make sure you line it up really nice, and then once it's in place, push down. You should feel a good click without having to put too much pressure. Don't force it. Gonna use our jiggly puffer here on the hard drive and get it back in place. Let's see. Yeah, it got some dust buildup. It looks like those rollers are completely discolored. Let's clean it up. And remember, we're using a dry brush here. No Windex, no rubbing alcohol here. Now this little screw right here, you put a screwdriver in, it turns your rollers. Just like we saw on the last episode, this is the most important part of the drive cleaning. A little bit of dust here and there in the drive won't cause too much problem, but a little tiny layer of dust on these rollers is going to cause all sorts of feeding issues. So we need to make sure we get it as clean as possible. Just like last time, we're going to spin it while we use rubbing alcohol and then the dry side to dry it off. Do not leave a layer of alcohol on there, because if it dries naturally, it's going to leave that film and it's going to do you no good. All right, so short of replacing those rollers, I think we've done about what we can there. Let's get it back together. And we're going to manually feed and eject a disc using that same screw just to make sure it goes nicely. Test at least that much without putting it back together. It spins, it feeds, it ejects, we're good. Let's put it back in. Make sure that you get those little metal tabs on the outside of the frame there. The little plastic frame goes in between the drive and those little tabs. Don't forget your antenna. Plug everything in. Now let's take a look at this power supply. We've got bad news on this one. It looks like somebody may have already hit it with some sort of liquid. It's got a little buildup on there that I would love to hit with some Windex, but I can't because the power supply does not like liquids. So we're just gonna dry rub it and get it back in there. All right, well, there we go. So let's go ahead and work on the outer bits here. This one is quite filthy, and now we are free and clear to use Windex as we need. Let's get to it. We'll plug the system in and test it out before we put that shell back on there. We want to make sure the new fan is spinning properly, so we'll go ahead and turn it on. And yeah, spinning nicely. Look at that. Getting display out of it, so that's good. Means we didn't have any surprises along the way. Everything else is working great here. Now let's feed in a disk, make sure it feeds, it reads, and ejects properly. So we got our space balls, we'll put it in there. And we're in business. Go ahead and eject that out. Yeah, nice and smooth. This one is all good to go. So we'll go ahead and put that outer shell back on. I'm going to go ahead and put a replacement screw in there as a courtesy to the customer. There we go, looking pretty good. We did what we could with the outside, but the inside is nice and clean, clear of obstructions, won't overheat anymore. So that's one more happy PS4. Shouldn't have any more troubles with overheating or getting loud. Thank you guys so much for coming along on this adventure with me. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell thing to make sure you get notified if you want to see our next video. Next week, we're not doing another PS4. We're looking at doing an Xbox One X. So that'll be a nice little change of pace for you guys. Hopefully the video quality is getting a little bit better. We've been trying to dial in some of the settings on our cameras and our audio, getting a little bit more familiar with our editing software. Make sure you check out our other videos. I'll put a little thing in the spot. We've got another video on Joy-Con drift repair. We do a full replacement thumbstick, so I recommend checking that one out, and we will see you guys next week.